Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of the second Dalek 2-pack of this year, so 2020. Yay! That was an ironic year. But I finally got my hands on these ones, and yeah, it's been a bit of an ordeal to try and track down the Dalek 2-packs for me. Then again, even though I say that as though I got the other two Dalek 2-packs, or the other Dalek 2-pack, but I didn't. But as of this recording, it's the 24th of August, and I got them yesterday, so the 23rd of August, and yeah, they retail for $19.99, so just short of 20 quid pretty much. And yeah, it's Dalek Invasion of Earth 1964 episode and that. Honestly, I'm a massive fan of the Daleks, if you didn't already know, and that they're one of my favourite baddies and or villains and that. But yeah, I'll be going over what these figures are like in person, as it were, and hopefully I'll be able to get the other Daleks soon enough, which I think are from the Daleks. I think that's the episode they're from. I could be wrong on saying that, but yeah. I'll start off with the basic sort of silver and blue drone, as it were, which looks absolutely stunning, in my opinion. I love the fact that it was originally an SFX sort of sound effects Dalek, and you can even sort of tell because there's even this like marking on this one sphere around the sphere. I don't know if that'll pick up on camera, but when you get it in person, it kind of looks as though you could press that sphere down to make it talk. Obviously that isn't the case here, but originally that would have been the case, and as Batman March pointed out in his review, that would have made this Dalek on its own, or that version of the Dalek in particular, quite expensive and therefore difficult to army build, and that. But yeah, that isn't the case anymore, which is fantastic, although then, to be fair, scalpers, so, you know, swings and roundabouts, or and all of that. But I do adore the fact that on both Daleks, the big sort of bumper sort of fenders and or bumper car almost like bottoms they have are so sort of weathered and textured, as though they have actually been out and about and actually being used, as it were, as like the proper props, which I just love. And that, so yeah, I adore the silver and the blue sort of spheres, because the baby blue spheres really pop on the sort of shiny silver, or at least I think so, and that. The plungers are quite skinny with these Daleks. I don't know if that was design intentional sort of thing for the prop back in the day. And then you've got these silver bands, which then have this matte sort of radar dish with the little thing there, and then the seam at the back, and that. And yeah, I do adore this one. And then you've got the neck bin as usual, with the mesh, or the mash, nope, mesh even, and then the bin, and then the exterminator gun as well, which is nicely detailed, as well as the plunger and that. But yeah, this plunger design, as I say, is quite thin, but yeah, just taking a look at the sort of dome and that, you've got the normal sort of little headlights, which are very teeny tiny for these Daleks, which again I think is just part of the Dalek design on these ones, and that. And then the sort of eye stalk is black, which might need a silver band around it to be more screen accurate. So if you're really that, for lack of a better term, obsessive, that you could just paint that. Also, this eye stalk is quite brutally stiff and that, so yeah. And then you've got the blue, baby blue rings around there, the silver, and then the white, and then the black for the eye and or iris, which yeah, is really nice. And that, so yeah, this one's wide-eyed, as it were. What I mean by that is this is the other one. So yeah, that's really interesting, at least for me, because I think that might be the first time they've really paid that much attention to the eye stalk and or iris in particular for the Dalek design. So yeah, yeah, I'm chuffed to bits to finally get this Dalek 2-pack, and yeah, the Daleks, they wheel about. That's their main mode of articulation, as well as having full 360 heads and or domes even. And the eye stalk can go up, but again, it is quite stiff. At least this one is. The plunger and the exterminator gun are both on obviously ball joints, so you can move them around left, right, up, down, so on. So you can have them iconically having like the Nazi salute whilst they trundle around London trying to exterminate everyone who isn't a Dalek. So, you know, or you could try and recreate the iconic scene of them in Dalek Invasion of Earth trying to trundle about on Westminster Bridge. So yeah, moving on to the Dalek Supreme, or Black Dalek as he might just be referred to as in the show. I'll be honest, I never even knew there were Black Daleks in Dalek Invasion of Earth, which I have only seen once, I think, or maybe twice. Maybe once fully and maybe once partway through. But either way, obviously it being black and white Doctor Who, how was I supposed to know there was actually a Black Dalek in the show? But yeah, that being said, I quite like the idea of them having a Black Dalek, mainly because I like the idea of them having, even as far back as 64, having the idea that the Daleks have a hierarchy system and that, which is pretty cool. This eye stalk's a lot less sort of stiff and is almost a bit more on the looser side, so you know, you just can't win, can you? The baby blue spheres really do pop against also the black, maybe even more so than the silver, but either way they both still pop and look gorgeous in terms of the spheres being baby blue, in my opinion. Likewise with the fender and or bottom of the other Dalek, this one's also got a grey wash over the black sort of bumper cart bottom, because then it just gives it this sort of idea that, as I say, it just is, or has been even, trundling around, being in battle, as it were. Again, the sort of articulation is just the exact same in terms of wheels, 3 wheels, so it can trundle around, and then the dome can move full 360, and the plunger can go, plunger and exterminator gun can go up, down, left, right, and what not. And then I guess the main interesting thing is that the iris is sort of zoomed in, as it were, or sort of the white bit in the eye is done a little bit smaller than the rest, as though it's zooming in, as though it's sort of actually they've almost done like expression to this Dalek, which I do quite like, you know, as a fan, as I say, of the evil, malevolent Pepper Potts. I do like the fact that they've gone to the length, character options have gone to the length, at least with this Dalek set in particular, to have this Dalek have a sort of a retracted iris and or focused in one, so it looks as though it's like, as I say, looking and that, you know, zoomed in on something and that, and then, as I say, the wider-eyed normalness of the sort of drone, the silver drone it's just nice, and it's a nice pair. It's very good for anyone who's very nostalgic for old Dalek designs, you know, just likes the Dalek design, or is a fan of sort of, I don't know, having stuff to display either in your workspace or house or home or whatever, and that. And yeah, they're both, I think they're both great for adult collectors as well as kids, really. I think, you know, it scales to either, really. Although then you could argue the price tag of 20 quid might be, you could argue that a character option is trying to sort of say that this line, this history of the Daleks, sort of line of figures is more for the collector, at 20 quid each. But yeah, I think if you're any bit the fan of Daleks, I think it's high sort of recommendation from me, and a must-have for anyone who, as I say, is any bit a fan of the evil, maniacal Pepper Potts. Yeah, I'd give this set a strong sort of 8-9 out of 10. It depends, really. I mean, you could argue it's a bit lackluster in the accessory department, but then again, in terms of the packaging, you do get a very decent diorama almost as well, so you could argue that kind of sort of counters that argument if you want to keep the diorama and all the backdrop to the packaging. They also have a very nice sort of rundown of the props from the show. So again, I think those two things, plus the lack of lack of an accessory and or play features in particular, and then the price point, it all sort of stacks up to me thinking that, yeah, these are more for collectors, but if you did want to give them to younger fans and or fans who have only just got into Classic Who and have somehow started with William Hartnell and watched this episode, Dalek Invasion of Earth, then I think it's a recommendation for them as well. Or wouldn't go amiss with them as well. So yeah, sort of strong 8/9 out of 10. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe.